I set a New Year's resolution to lose 50 pounds. I heard Squeezed on the radio advertised, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a try. I'm just gonna try this. And I was reading about it on the website, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do a 7-day. I'm just gonna jump in, commit to this. I was scared, I was anxious. I didn't know, you know, what it was gonna be like. I think there's a big misconception that you're gonna be starving and hangry. Maybe there was some of that the first time just because I was new to that. But I was so motivated. And so I did that first 7-day cleanse. I lost 10 pounds, which I hadn't seen, you know, any kind of results, you know, working out and eating healthy until that first cleanse, you know, after my 3rd child. And so I was just so excited and I was hooked. I was ready to, you know, continue that journey. And that was the start of my cleanse journey. Yeah, I mean, I've always ate fairly healthy, and like I said, I've always worked out, and so it was just such a struggle after that 3rd kid. I'm like, nothing's changing. I was almost 50 pounds heavier than my normal, you know, and I mean, there was just so many aspects of myself that I didn't recognize, and you know, I wasn't gonna accept that as my new normal.
Right, and after that first cleanse, what would you say for those 7 days was like the hardest part? Like what was the most challenging part for those 7 days?
You know, my first cleanse, I was so happy. I was like, this is working, I found something. So I can't say, I mean, of course, like packing lunches, making dinner, things like that were challenging. And so like I would get dinner on the table, eat with my family, and then just get away from the kitchen, you know, like let's just out of sight, out of mind with that. So that was challenging, but I mean, every day I would just feel better and better. And I just felt like finally, I think my metabolism is awake, you know, because it was getting lazy for a while.
Yeah. So after that 3rd kid, I swear something happens and your body's just like, you know, we're just gonna like stay at the pregnancy weight. Now, aesthetically, of course, you probably didn't appreciate how you looked, but like, how did you feel physically?
Right. So yeah, so I breastfed all my kids for a year after pregnancy, and people say that that helps you lose weight. It wasn't for me. I was like the complete opposite.
Same. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, so and I was fine with that. You know, I was embracing being a mom.
Right.
But I noticed with each kid, when I was done with that portion, breastfeeding, then my body was finally my own, and I was like, now I'm claiming myself, and I would finally start to see the changes. And so weight would slowly come off with each one. But after the 3rd one, you know, I just you know, gradually picked up almost 50 pounds along the way. And so I was feeling achy, you know, not energized. I started getting plantar fasciitis in one of my foot.
Oh my gosh.
One of my feet. And it was just, you know, a horrible feeling. And, you know, I knew that wasn't going to be the way that I, you know, was going to stay.
You're not going to go from like figure skating and running marathons to
And I was still exercising, and so that was such a struggle because, of course, running, carrying around extra weight, it just makes it so much harder. So I knew I had to make some changes, and that first cleanse was just, you know, like the start of my journey, and just a wonderful gateway into like just a better me.
Oh, that's so good to hear. After you did that first one, how long after did you do your second one, and then what was the second one?
Yeah, so after that first one, I mean, I was committed. I like had a whole spreadsheet. And,
oh, wow. People are gonna hear this and they're like, can you send me the spreadsheet? And I'm not kidding.
Oh no, because it has my weight listed on it, and I don't share that with anybody.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, I just had it logged like every single day. I would just, you know, type in where I was gonna be and my goals, and so I think I did like every week or every other week or so. So I would do a 7-day cleanse. Usually then the next few were like 5 to 3 day cleanses, so they were a little bit shorter, but I was still seeing the same results from the shorter, you know, cleanses. And so I did that for like 6 months in a row, and I had lost all the weight. And that was something that I really wanted to do. My daughter was starting kindergarten, and so I was like, you know, when my daughter starts kindergarten, I'm gonna meet all these new families. Like, I just wanna, for myself, feel better, feel more comfortable with where I'm at and who I am. And, you know, I did it. And so it was just a huge accomplishment and very rewarding.
And now, what do you do to maintain?
So yeah, so now I'm in the maintenance stage, and I still find myself doing a couple a month. It's just a great reset. You know, after a long weekend, you know, I let myself indulge and have fun, and you know, I'll do maybe a 3-day cleanse, like I just finished one yesterday, just to feel better, you know, for the weekend. And so I think it's just a great way to stay on track and stay focused, you know, without, you know, letting that weight just slowly add back on, because it does so quickly.
It comes on slowly and it comes off even slower,
right? That's so true.
What would you say is more difficult, losing the weight that you lost at 50 pounds or keeping it off?
You know, everybody thinks, you know, I would think losing the weight was the hardest part. I was so motivated, and I was, you know, seeing that momentum of the weight finally working, and so I was just super driven. Keeping it off, I think, is something that I just, you know, I can't just relax and let myself just be comfortable. I need to stay on top of it and continue to cleanse to maintain that.
When you're on a cleanse, what do you find yourself like craving after? Like what does your diet look like usually after a cleanse?
Yeah, so, you know, I'm more of a salty person than a sweet person. So I find myself craving, you know, maybe like some chips, and I don't even eat or pretzels, a lot of that stuff, but I've really found that, like, you know, during this journey, I might crave it or think about it during the cleanse, but then afterwards I'll eat it, and I'm like, you know what? That's not even worth it. That's not even.
It wasn't as satisfying.
No, right. So I find myself really leaning more towards healthier foods, and everybody deserves to be healthy, to feel better, you know, not to wake up with pains. And so it's really just about the quality of your life, and that's what I was struggling with before I started this. You know, I would wake up and my heel was hurting or my back was achy, and I knew that I needed to do something to make that shift. And so, you know, it's certainly not an easy journey, but it's so worth it. I'll never go back to where I was. I know that. I can never let that happen.
Questions to ask you. Did you notice that you slept any better when you were on the cleanse, or
I did, yes. So I'm always a light sleeper. You know, when I lay in bed, I'll just have a million things running through my head of things that I need to do the next day. But during cleanses, I would start having these deep dreams that I've never had before. And so it's interesting, you know, it's fascinating. I'll be like, what was that?
Yeah.
Why did I dream about that? But yeah, I mean, I know it's just because my body is so much more relaxed and able just to, you know, finally calm down. It's not working so hard on digesting the food as it sometimes does. You know, I try to just believe in like the 80-20 rule when I'm, you know, thinking about nutrition. And so, you know, I'm always going to be 80% focused on my nutrition, and then maybe 20%, you know, I'll let myself indulge. And so, you know, doing a 3-day juice cleanse is just the best way to reset your metabolism, and just to identify those areas or those behaviors that you need to improve upon. And for me, I mean, there was so many behaviors that I didn't even realize I had picked up, you know, like maybe a coffee, you know, with cream and sugar. Diet Coke was a crutch of mine that I would, you know, just midday crash, I would drink a soda to get through the day. And after doing a cleanse, you know, you realize, like, I just did this for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. Why am I drinking this every single day, you know? And so just trying to identify those areas of change that you can slowly shift and build better habits.
Makes sense. Yeah, I totally agree. Were you always able to work out during a cleanse? Have you always been able to work out during a cleanse, or?
Yeah, and so that was something that I was worried about when I first did that 7-day cleanse. I was worried because exercise is my therapy. That's how I deal with the stress of every day. My husband's always like, "Did you not work out today? Why don't you go for a run?" You know, because I can tell that you need it. So when I first did that cleanse, I was worried that I wouldn't have the energy. But I've worked out at the same intensity throughout all the cleanses, and I felt great. You know, I'll bring my juice to the park, sip on it, and I'm able to, you know, do the same intensities that I do with food, sometimes even better, because you know, after a cleanse, if I'm eating cheese, like, I'll feel some inflammation, and, you know, my body's just like, you know what, you don't need all that. Let's stick with the, you know, more nutritious foods.